Yo! Well guys, it has been a hot minute since we have had a drone dairy video. And yes, bro, I know there's no background footage. Well, that's because my phone is almost out of storage because I had to downgrade to a phone because my tablet was shattered. But whatever, that doesn't matter. We're not here for a tragic backstory. So, my thoughts and my review on The Amazing Digital Circus, Episode 9, the finale. Okay, so I'm going to recap the storyline real quick. The episode focuses on Kane's deletion and how the cast moves on from it. Jack slashes out like usual. Ragafoot tries to comfort everybody. And Pomni just goes and tries to comfort people, but Ragafoot just cries. Gangle and Zooble kind of split up for a bit and then reunite. But bro, that's the entire episode pretty much. Just wah, 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 as Jax puts it. But, okay, I'm not done because there is an important part here. So basically, Pomni reunites with Kinger, which is trying to rebuild the circus using conjuring powers. And Pomni learns and helps him. And slowly everybody joins him until Jax comes up to Pomni and then leaves because he's a shy little guy. So, Pomni tries to go after him, but then she just doesn't. Worst character moment. And then Jax goes off and abstracts. Isn't that just lovely? Yeah, my favorite character died. Luckily, he still gets half the screen time. So, after the cast kind of hide on this little balcony thing, the hot chocolate place, you know, they look down at the abstracted Jax running around as they all get mad at him, especially Zooble. But so Pomni, remember, she has a gun from They All Get Guns adventure. And she goes into the hallway that Jax is in and shoots the lights, making him go into darkness. And then she hugs him and enters his abstraction mind. And then she goes through these doors, basically traveling through what would happen if this character abstracts for Jax. For Agatha, Jax is upset and he chokes Pomni out. For Zooble, he makes fun of her and seems to have some kind of relationship thing with Gangle. If Gangle abstracts, he does some cartoonish stuff with Zooble, like Looney Tunes completely. And then there's a chained up door, which is most likely Pomni behind it, because he doesn't want to think about it. And then Kinger just does not have a door. I think I have a theory though. I think it's because Jax knows at this point Kinger should have abstracted, but he hasn't. So they kind of just use Kinger's room as a little hangout spot. And there's another locked door. Well, there's actually two locked doors, but one has chains on it, and one is actually the one Pomni goes into. And the chained up door makes a noise, which is probably the transitional Jax, since we know he's a transitional. So then Pomni kind of just talks to the Jaxes, and they all bully her a lot. One Jax is chained up playing the piano, and all of the Jaxes begin to disappear until it's only Pomni and the piano Jax. And he gives her a key to unlock that door. Not the chained up one, the just locked one. She goes in, and she relives Jax's mind as he enters the circus and befriends Cosmo and Ribbit. And finally we hear Cosmo speak, bro. Cosmo might have made his way up to be my favorite side character, bro. No, that's because I think that's still Bubble. Cosmo's he's my favorite, neutral character, because he's not a main character, but I don't think he's really a side character, because he's very important still. Ribbit was fine. She was cool. I liked her, but there's not too things special about her. And Jax gives his traumatic backstory about how he almost murdered his mom, is what he thinks. And then he ran away from home and ended up stuck in the circus. And then Ribbit and him have a little bonding session as Ribbit puts her bow on him, and then Cosmo knocks on the door. So Jax just throws the bow to the ground and tells Ribbit that she's gonna forget all of this. And then Ribbit comes up to him the next day, apologizing for prying too hard, and Jax just tells him that it was a joke. Of course he does. That's all he does. So, and then basically Jax and Ribbit begin to slowly distance themselves from each other until they have the big argument in the Snowy Peaks adventure. And then Ribbit abstracts. Cosmo sees the exit door, but Jax thinks he's crazy and bullies him. Cosmo goes through the exits and abstracts. It was great. Now Jax steals the bowling ball, the green bowling ball, which was in Ribbit's room, which he took from Cosmo's room in the pilot and uses it to talk himself down later that day when he's alone, because he's about to abstract. And then Pomni arrives, and then it's basically a bunch of flashes of Jack's life in the circus, as one of Zubal's bombs from the All Get Guns adventures goes off, sending Pomni out of his mind. After they have a little romantic session about Jax saying that nobody should love him and he's meant to abstract. And Gooseworks has confirmed abstracting is like taking your own life. So, that's cool, but still. So, Jax wants to abstract until Pomni hugs him, and then he says he doesn't want to go, and then he fully abstracts. One of Zubal's bombs goes off from the All Get Guns adventures thing, and then it blows Pomni out of the way, and Jax begins to go crazy. And then Zubal's giant tangly arm rescues Pomni as she's glitched out by the abstracted Jax. And she's pulled in by the entire cast, which finally do something meaningful. They build a pillow fort and contain Jax using arms from Zubal. And then they rebuild the circus together. And then we get to the final plot line, Kane's revival. So basically Kane ends up in the void after he's deleted. He basically just finds the humans' mind files and gathers knowledge of them using the internet from a cafe. Also, Bubble's there for a second, but he has no face, which makes me mad because I love Bubble, bro. Bubble is the GOAT. We need a whole season 2 focused on Bubble and Kane. Now, give me Bubble content. Okay, but anyways. So, Bubble's just there, Kane just flies away, and separates himself from the blue AI after getting the knowledge of the humans' mind files. He makes his way back to the circus and apologizes, telling them they can rebuild this place together to be something greater. And they all become friends through a little montage at the end. And now that there's no Bubble Chef, which it sucks, each of the cast members get their own favorite food. Isn't that just great? And then we get a very cool reference to the Digital Circus pilot with the ending scene. And then Pomni waves like Mario 64. And that's the end of the story of the Amazing Digital Circus Episode 9. I really loved it, bro. I wish we would have got more Bubble, more Jax, and more Kane, bro. And maybe the rest of the characters could have actually done something meaningful. Have we considered that? It was a great episode, but not a great finale. But it ends in such a way there can't be a season 2 dedicated to what happens. That kind of sucks. But in that case, I'll see you guys in the next one. And hey, it's just a theory. A drone theory. See you in the next one.